Welcome and thank you for joining us here on the World News. I'm your host, Grace Lichty. Today we have news stories coming to you from 4 different countries. Our first story takes place in Mosul, Iraq. Take over, Anna.
A suicide bombing took place in Mosul, Iraq at an army base. A suicide bombing is when a person bombs a place or thing knowing that they will die in the process. The suicide bomber was Ronald Fiddler, also known as Jamal al-Harith. He was a member of the Islamic State of Iraq and Syria, also known as ISIS. He converted to Islam in the 1990s and joined ISIS in 2014. A photo of al-Harith was released. Al-Harith's brother confirmed it was him in the statement, "It is him. I can tell by his smile. It is true that I've lost my brother, and so another family member gone. He wasted his life." Al-Harith died at age 50. This is Anna reporting for the World News. Back to you, Grace.
Up next, Turkey is not delivering sufficiently on reforms to meet the terms of a migration deal that would allow Turks to travel visa-free to the European Union. To Katie.
Grace, under an agreement in March last year at the peak of Europe's biggest migration crisis since World War II, Turkey committed to preventing Middle Eastern and Asian refugees moving from its territory into the European Union in exchange for financial support and visa-free access for its citizens. Turkey was doing well on their border control, but according to a regular report that the European Union was to publish next week, it will say it's delaying reforms on anti-terrorism legislation, party financing, and judicial cooperation, the source said. Turkish President Tayyip Erdogan spokesman stated Wednesday that Ankara expects steps on visa-free travel as soon as possible. That was dismissed in Brussels as nonsense because Turkey was not fulfilling the conditions. The European Union official said they need to keep up the fiction for their own population. The official acknowledged that border management and Turkish support refugees were working well, but no progress on visas were expected anytime soon because no changes to anti-terrorism legislation were expected before and in the immediate aftermath of Turkey's constitutional on April 16th. This is Katie reporting for the World News. Back to you.
Up next, Turkey is not delivering sufficiently on reforms to meet the terms of a migration deal that would allow Turks to travel visa-free to the European Union. To Katie.
Those 7 countries are Syria, Iran, Sudan, Libya, Somalia, Iran, and Yemen. Many people have been separated from their families because of President Donald Trump's travel ban. Abdallah was just a young girl when she got separated from the rest of her family. Her family said, quote, "It was the country that welcomed us and the country that separated us." Abdallah didn't have a job, or anything for that matter. Her parents didn't know something like this was going to happen. Abdallah was going to see her family, but now she doesn't think she'll ever see them again. She said it felt like getting her arm chopped off when she found out she couldn't go. Another girl, Paulo, opened up a letter that approved her to go to the United States to see her family. She was over at the supermarket so that she could get a new pair of shoes for her journey. While she was there, an official called her and said, "Don't bother getting anything for your journey." He said that had been canceled because of the president's new orders. Back to Grace.
Coming up next is accusations and invitations on Saudi Arabia. To you, Dasia.
What's been happening this past month of February is the accusations and invitations on Saudi Arabia. The Human Rights Organization put Saudi Arabia under pressure once more. DW's Tim Sebastian pursues Prince Tiki al-Faisal on Ariya Badawi alternative facts and torture cases. The prince opens the invitation to Sebastian's offer and agrees to visit Saudi jails. On that note, the prince also said he is very open to Sebastian's suggestion that the UN Committee Against Torture should be able to visit jail holding Badawi as well. Badawi is midway through a 20-year term in jail for insulting Islam through electronic channels. Confronted with this particular human rights violation, Prince Tiki al-Faisal told interviewer Tim Sebastian, "You must come and see for yourself before you take these things as being facts." When Sebastian responded, "It would be better to let The experts go and see, while Fossil reply with bring whoever you want.
This news story we bring you is about the Jordan rugby teams, two Mercedes.
National rugby players are determined to try for the Asian tournament success. Although the overall popularity of the sport is fading, many dedicated players and fans are extremely anxious and excited about this upcoming tourney. Not only does the team wish to win, their biggest goal is to encourage future generations to participate in this truly amazing game. The 12 players are training hard this week in order to take home the gold and set an extraordinary example for future players to come.
And now the All Blacks just waiting for the French to peel off the tracksuits, stand in front of them and receive the challenge of the haka. Well, the challenge has been received by the French. Stand by, the Rugby World Cup final.
So, I'm sure whenever you think of fashion, you think, wow, cutting off my own finger would look great. No? Well, 30-year-old body piercer Torres Reynolds did. Yes, Torres hit headlines with having sliced off a tattoo with her ex-boyfriend's name on it. Torres took it even further when she sent it to him. Ah, love. It can hurt sometimes. Relationships sometimes are just piercing. But with maintenance, they can be really sharp. This has been the World News. I'm Grace Lichty. Thank you for tuning in.